Hey, today we're going to talk about the planet known as Saturn, as this forms part of our planetary frequency series. And the hertz that this planet is often associated with, or often considered to be vibrating, is 147.85 hertz. And the tempo that this planet is often associated with, which is about beats per minute, is 69.3. or 138.6 beats per minute. The color that this is often associated with is blue when you're thinking in regards to color therapy. And in regards to the days of the week, this planet is associated with Saturday. So if you wish to embody some of the Saturn properties, Saturdays could potentially be the best days to do that. Now, the kind of qualities that Saturn has, it can have an effect on the mind, body, and spirit related to enhancing concentration and many other things, which we're going to go into, of course, very soon. And it's also considered to be very much a cosmic controller, so controlling a lot of the other planetary bodies within our solar system. And we can also apply that kind of metaphor to more, smaller aspects, and in regards to, the material plane here in certain ways. So the kind of properties that we would often associate Saturn with are things like structure, law, discipline, ambition, responsibility, obligation. And it's often in some, folklore, mythology, culture, considered to be associated with agriculture, wealth, and time. And in some mythology, it's also considered to be the father of Jupiter. And there's some stories, of course, that could be shared there about that. You can find those quite easily online in regards to the surface layer of those stories. And from what I've observed, Saturn tends to be the most misinterpreted and feared among the planetary bodies that we are working with. And some of that is related to what, some would call a Saturn return, which is when the Saturn comes back round to the same place it was when you were born. You can have a number of Saturn returns within your life, and usually the first one is probably the most feared, because sort of late 20s, early 30s, we're still very much building, knowledge, and starting to sort of only just engage probably with our internal wisdom. And if you're not on that sort of path, then Saturn can do its thing to try and push you very much into where spirit would like you to be. And it's also in certain, philosophies, school of thought, religions, Saturn can be associated with the deity or the archetype of Satan. There's some misinterpretation of that. I won't get into that here. And I guess I could share my own sort of personal perception of Saturn. Might as well, while we're here talking about this topic. I see Saturn as very much like a stern grandfather. And if you remain within your integrity, then you will be very much rewarded through life's growths and lessons. And that is something that very much Saturn can assist us with. When you think about things like Jupiter, we think about like abundance and how you get given gifts in that way. It's a lot more associated probably more in the material plane. Saturn's returns are a lot more about, or shall I say, Saturn's gifts are a lot more about much deeper gifts, much more within, much more to do with wisdom, and not necessarily so much about the material plane and acquiring material goods and material relationships, and etc., etc. Not to say that Saturn can't assist with those things, but it's not really Saturn's focus. It's a real wise archetype. And for some that are not so comfortable with particular masculine attributes, irrespective of what gender you identify with, and you could probably replace the word masculine with a different kind of word depending on your belief system, school of thought, religion, culture, etc., etc. You're not so comfortable with things like structure, law, discipline, ambition, responsibility, then you may find Saturn to be quite challenging, and but you can overcome that, of course. And for myself, when I look at to my own tropical astrology, Saturn is considered to be my chart ruler, and I have very much been encouraging self to open up to Saturn more and more, and also learn and be at more peace about the kind of ways in which Saturn may wish to work through us and with us. So yes, that's all that I feel is important to share in regards to the Saturn planetary frequency and for the planetary frequency series. If you have any questions, welcome to leave that in the comment section below. We'll be moving on to Uranus next, Neptune after, and we'll be finishing up with Pluto, and we'll see you again soon.